Hello. Today I thought I'd do a little quick mini overview of Pinnacle of Combat. I wanted to give a disclaimer. The disclaimer should be obvious. I don't speak Chinese. I play a lot of foreign Asian games, but uh, I have like barely conversational Japanese, and I can read a little bit of Korean. But other than that, I can't read any Chinese at all, so I'm not going to call this a detailed overview. These are just the things that I've noticed and a little bit of how the game works. So I've already loaded into training mode. One thing I should mention before I get started is that this game, at least on the phone, it does have native controller support. They pushed an update earlier today that made it actually recognize my Razer Kishi. The control scheme is going to be different from a traditional or console DMC game, no matter how you slice it. If you want to play it like that, you can do that very easily with BlueStacks, but the default controls are very different. They're not even like the reboot controls. They're kind of their own thing. Um, that's basically it. I don't really have a lot of structure for this. So you have your basic attack button. You have a launcher. So dash is its own button, but you also have style switching in this game. You also have Royal Guard. Pretty responsive. So you can switch between Trickster and Royal Guard. Those are the only two styles in the game right now. There also is weapon switching, but you have to realize that this is a service game, so it's not going to have everything right away. They don't have Cerberus in the game, unfortunately. They said that they're even going to be doing some original weapons and stuff as well. I can actually show some of the moves here. Let's go ahead and look at some of the mechanics here. I've been grinding on this. I was up until like 5 in the morning grinding on this, but unfortunately I didn't. I'm unable to use the cash shop. I don't have any real life cash right now. I'm not exactly sure how caching is going to work for an international or foreign player. I can't really comment on that right now. This game is very free to play friendly. So here's enemy step. Sky Star. Double trickster dash. And then guard. And then release. So the first thing you notice is this is not just ripping the assets and the moves from the traditional DMC games, not even 5. They actually have a lot of new moves in here. So let's just go ahead and skip to some of the new moves. It's going to have a lot of the same stuff, high time, million stab, stinger, and stuff like that, aerial rave. But there's a couple new moves here. They actually don't have all of them unlocked, but that's a new dash attack that he has. It's prop shredder. And DT. So that's a new move he has as well. We can use this to like extend combos. Overall, the game feels pretty responsive. If you're used to playing traditional DMC games, I think you'll feel right at home. It's just you're going to have to take some time to adapt to the controls. Um, you're not able to change the controls with the native controller support. I actually just tried that at my neighbor's house before I got home and recorded this overview, which is not really that much of an issue. You're going to be playing this pretty differently from a traditional DMC game anyway. So if you're going to be playing this on your mobile device, the game seems to be pretty optimized. My phone is prone to overheating, so I found that if I just close the game for like a couple minutes and let the phone cool down, everything goes back to normal. But the game is optimized for BlueStacks, so I recommend using BlueStacks 4 in 64-bit mode right now because BlueStacks 5 is supposed to be better, but it doesn't have controller support right now. Right now, I have my 8BitDo SN30 Pro Plus hooked up in X input mode, and the game does not pick it up in emulator mode. So I would recommend using BlueStacks 4. So in any case, let's go ahead and show a little bit of what you can do. I don't have that many moves unlocked. Oops. Takes a little getting used to. So let's try doing a Rebellion combo 1 into that dash move into the drive thing. And there you go. Little not great combo there. I don't have that many moves. Let's go ahead and show some of the moves that I don't have, so you guys have a little bit of a better idea how this works. Load times are quite long, but this game is obviously pushing the limits of what a mobile device can do. It doesn't seem like running it on emulator really seems to help. The load time seem about the same as how I was playing on mobile earlier today. So here's Agni and Rudra. Also, Beowulf is in the game too, but I don't have access to that yet. So to unlock moves in this game, you need both red orbs, which are your standard currency, and you need these books. The books are the secondary currency. It's very similar to Proud Souls, but since this is a service game, you will earn them from various tasks like daily events and clearing story quests and things like that. So they actually gave out like 500 books, and then I got a bunch of other ones. But right now, I'm trying to save up for weapon switching, which is going to cost another 70,000 or so orbs. So once you get these, you can also turn them off as well. Obviously, this doesn't have the same control scheme as the traditional games, so it's nice that if you feel like a move is really cramping your style or it's coming out too often, the amount of time you have to hold a button down to do the hold moves is very small, so you might want to turn it off if you feel like you can get by without it. If it's going to make your execution a lot better, then you have the option of doing that as well. Let's go ahead and check out Agni and Rudra. So there's a standard move there. So that's a new move. It's cool that they're taking some liberties with this. Agni and Rudra kind of didn't feel as good as Rebellion. So that's pretty cool. You can do that in the air too. Tempest. Oh, I got that too. I should try that out. Let's see what shotgun's got. Charge shot. Does he have fireworks? Yep, he sure does. I really need that weapon switch though, so I'm gonna hold off for now. Okay, so in terms of microtransactions, there's a number of things you can do. Just go ahead and grab this really quick. So you can get weapons from this that actually have different moves, which I think is pretty cool. The rates seem about on par with Honkai Impact, so it's not as bad as other action service games or MMOs on mobile like KOF All Star. I've been trying to get Beowulf pretty much since I started playing last night, and I haven't had any luck. Like I said, I'm not sure how caching works as a foreigner, so I also don't have any real life cache right now anyway. I couldn't test it if I wanted to, but you do have a pity here. If you do 30 of these, I guess you can choose something. I'm not quite there yet. And they also have Virgil here. But they gave a 10 pull and I couldn't get him. I think this is what unlocks him here. I think that's like the pity. Like I said, language barrier. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. That's the survey. So these are your daily events. This is not quite the Bloody Palace. This is like a timed Bloody Palace type thing where if you want to, actually, if you keep fighting and you get your stylish rank up, you'll get more points, and you can open up chests to get rewards. So I think this is the Bloody Palace here or something, but I don't have it unlocked yet. Menus are pretty hard to navigate. There's kind of an excessive amount of stuff in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and show a little gameplay here. By the way, this is not canon to DMC 3, which I think is kind of interesting. They're able to take a lot more liberties that way. There's lots of English in this game too. Cool. Alright, like I said, I can't really explain everything because there's a pretty massive language barrier. I'm sure you guys have noticed. This game has great presentation, by the way. That wasn't obvious. Okay, so let's do some gameplay here. These are the cutscenes. The cutscenes are very well done, too. Let's play this one. Have fun learning all your muscle memory again, folks. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little awkward going from this to like DMC 5 or 4, 3, 4, 5 pretty much. Especially if you're playing something like 3 with the style switcher mod, or you're playing on the Switch version. Because all the move inputs are going to be different. You're going to be trying to do moves that you don't actually have, since this actually has a bunch of new moves. There are a lot of recycled like voice lines and moves and stuff in this, and animations, but there's actually a decent amount of new stuff as well. Just due to the nature of a service game, I assume that they're going to add more weapons and even more moves later on. Agni and Rudra doesn't seem to have as much going on, so maybe they'll fix that later. Trying to get used to the timing. Dashing is not as responsive as you'd like. I definitely think that's something they should improve. That's the whole point of this beta in the first place, to fix stuff like that. Okay, so my problem there was I kept trying to push circle. I kept trying to push circle to guard, and that doesn't work because the controls are different. Like I said, you're going to have to unlearn your studying the blade of the old games or the more recent games to play this. I think it's pretty enjoyable. I can't really comment on Royal Guard timing. I just got Royal Guard like maybe an hour ago. I haven't had a whole lot of time with it, but it does seem like it's pretty responsive. You can still guard cancel and things like that. So I'm just going to show how the actual story levels work, and then from there we'll check out the cash shop. The game's been pretty generous with currencies. So the story levels are separated by loading zones, partially because, this is a mobile game. They can't load that much stuff at once. And also, those little tasks that I do, that was actually the first level that you do where you fight Phantom. So they wanted to still have the kind of mobile game experience where you can just get to a quick fight for like, 2 to 3 minutes and, move on if you have to do something else. But these levels in particular do take quite a bit of time, so I know that there's some kind of autosave mechanic, but I've just finished all the levels in one sitting, so I can't really comment on it. Here, let's try Royal Guard on this guy. See if I can get him to do it again. Come on, buddy. I'm doing an overview here. He doesn't want to attack now. There we go. Alright, good enough. So you push forward and guard to do your release. Actually, I might as well just show a full map, so we'll just play through all this. I can't really comment much on the cash shop anyway, because I don't speak the language, but the game is pretty generous. I can see myself cashing on this quite a bit when the time comes. I didn't mean to make a DMC4 pun, but I did anyway. Sorry. So pretty much all these loading transitions, those will count as separate levels for the little task mode. Always got to have the annoying flying enemies. Flying enemies in a hazard room. The best of the worst. There is a lock-on, but I don't know why I don't have access to it. It gave me the tutorial for it, but it's not on the HUD. Not a fun room in the slightest. There we go. As you can see, these levels are quite long, so I know there's some kind of autosave mechanic, but generally I think it would be better to, for the sake of the kind of game that this is, it probably would be better to just clear it all in one sitting. So, if that's how you like to play games, I would recommend not touching the story unless you're at home or you've got enough free time. Some of the levels have taken me almost 20 minutes. So they're about on par with, a traditional DMC game. Need to train against these guys. A little weird, I couldn't cancel there. Felt a little stiff. Royal Guard could definitely use some work. Still a little bit of excessive amount of recovery. Let's get some health. I've leveled up my character quite a bit, so that's been helping. I notice I'm not really doing that great damage, though. But you know me, I gotta get that weapon switch mechanic, so that's what I'm grinding for right now. It's really gonna make me do this puzzle again. I hope not. Unfortunately, there are puzzles to ruin your fun. They're pretty rudimentary, but they're still annoying as always. I think I'm on the wrong level for that, though. I think I got ahead of myself. Sometimes you can't cancel out of moves as fast as you'd like. Kind of feels like the Switch version of DMC3 Style Switcher. Some moves have responsive cancels and some don't. I definitely think that's something they need to work on. And obviously this game has more RPG mechanics than your traditional DMC game, but it never feels fun when you get locked in an animation, especially in a game like this. So Dante in this game feels like Yuri in the Tales of Vesperia remaster. He's got like split personality disorder. Like the attack grunts. You recognize that from DMC5, but then he also has some DMC3 attack grunts as well. But when he talks, it's some sound alike. I know they're, since a Chinese company, they probably don't have easy access to Ruben Langdon, but it's very awkward for the same way that it was awkward with the Vesperia remaster. It's like 1 minute he's Ruben Langdon, and then 1 minute he's younger Ruben Langdon, and then the next minute he's some other guy. The new guy doesn't do that bad of a job. I don't think he's a bad voice actor. It's just the standard thing that happens when they try to splice together old voice clips and new ones. Obviously, this game has a lot of voiced English dialogue, so they can't get by with using the same voice clips for everything. This is pretty not fun with no moves. Ugh. This boss is annoying. Not fun. It's always been an annoying boss fight, but now you have no moves. I don't really care about ranking right now. I'll worry about ranks when I actually have more than like 4 moves. Okay, you can stop spamming projectiles now, please. This boss is just not fun. Boring and repetitive. Come on, stop spamming. I don't even care at this point. Not fun at all. Running away and shooting nonstop. Doesn't feel as engaging as the original DMC 3 battle, where you could attack a lot more. They're really forcing you to run away. So that took about 13 minutes. That was a pretty terrible fight, admittedly, but you can see about how long the story levels will be. So let's go ahead and do a poll for Beowulf before I sign off. Sorry for my bad performance there. I don't have a lot of options right now, so that's definitely impacting things too. I'm sure I could have handled that better. It's not like it's the game's fault. Oh, I got 2 of these. Alright, let's try this. Show how this works. Pretty cool loot box animation, I must say. Nothing. Well, I'll take the money. Alright, let's try this here. Sure. Come on, give me Beowulf. Even though I can't really use it until I get weapon switch. Give me Beowulf anyway. Hook me up, game. Nope. Game said no. Oh wow, Navan is here. Let's check this out. Gonna talk about your crappy boss fight. Okay, I have no idea how this works. Alright, well, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off there. Thought I'd just show how things work. I'll have more gameplay of this intermittently, both on my kitty sitting streams, one on do my home streams, and then just casually like today. Thanks for watching.